Dear class, now we are going to do direct painting monotype method. So I tore off a piece of newsprint to put underneath what I'm working on so I don't make a mess on the furniture. I'm going to start off by taking a piece of paper, and I'm only using this Sharpie so that you can see. I would use a pencil if I were you, but this is easier for you to see in the video. Okay, so that lets you know where your paper is going to be. Then you take your plate and you put it even. You can measure it if you want, or you can eyeball it. 3 centimeters. Pretty darn good. So about this side. So 3. Yeah, great. So you get like a 3 centimeter border. So again, I would use pencil for this. Okay, so now you know where you can place everything. So again, my paper is 25 by 30 centimeters. All right, now what you have to do is peel off the protective layer that comes on your plexiglass. You have to peel off both sides. Okay, so next we got to put something underneath that we're going to work with. So it could be some cutouts from a magazine. The shapes I'm going to be working with are planetary. So I have a little drawing about that, and I can stick it under my plexiglass, which is the really useful thing about it being see-through, is you can put stuff underneath it and work from it. Now, I don't want to get this piece all dirty. I want to keep it clean for when it's time to print. So I'm going to move it to the side, and I'm going to use a different piece. That's going to get messy. Now, at school, I can work directly on the surface, and I just clean it up when I'm done. But since you guys are printing this from home, I want to show you how you'd be doing it at home. So you'd be putting it on top of the drawing, and now you can directly paint. Okay, so I'm going to use gloves for this. Ripping. Now, just start painting. Just like any other painting. We're going to make green stars on a red background. Now you can add water to it and give it more of like a flowy look. You don't want it too thick because then it'll just get smushed when you go to print it. Now, of course, just like normal painting, you can mix colors. So between using the different colors, you want to clean off your brush so you don't contaminate the colors. Now, if you have more than one brush, great, then you can just switch back and forth. All right, let's go in for some red. And you can also mix the colors together. Now the thin stuff might dry a little faster than the thick stuff. So you don't want to stop what you're doing and go have lunch or anything. You want to work somewhat fast. But you don't have to rush either, because it's not acrylic paint. If you try doing this with acrylic paint, it will be dry already probably. You can also do some splatters. or if you have a toothbrush lying around, if you have any kind of textures you want to do, paper towel. Okay, so let's give it a try. Let's see what that looks like. We're going to move all of our brushes and paint out of the way. Take off our gloves because we want to have clean hands for this. So I'll just use the gloves only when I'm actually touching ink. Okay, take a paper and put it in the marks that you made. And then I'm going to even tape it down so it doesn't move. But you might need to use a spoon to get really good pressure. Just want to go over the whole thing. That's why you want the tape, so it doesn't move, and you can just keep checking on it. Now, if we were at school, we would put this through the printing press. Hopefully we'll be at school soon, but you can do it at home with a spoon. You just have to really put some strength into it. Okay, let's see. All right, I think it needs some more right here. Now, the nice thing is too, you can keep adding on to it. So you can say, okay, I need more ink in here. Put a little more there. Yeah, so now you can start getting layers, different colors. So now I want to put a little bit more information in the planet. Okay, I'm not so into this area. Let's get some more ink on that. Let's see what happens. And you can just keep going and adding until you're happy with it. So let's take a look at it. Let's see what we got. So it's going to be very abstract and probably different than how you expected it. You're probably going to want to use a lot of paint, pretty thick. Here's where it was really watery and you can barely see it. So here where it's thicker, and it's going to print better. But let's do something else to help it print even better, which is going to be wetting paper. So I'm going to do this one more time. With wet paper. We're going to see the difference. And then you guys can decide what kind of paper you want to do it with, wet or dry. Now the nice thing is you can clean it off if you want to start over, or you can leave it there and it'll give you kind of like a background. This is a water tray that we have at school, but at home you can use anything like a pan, a pot, a sink, a big bowl, whatever, and put in your paper and let it soak. So you'll want to do that for about 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. But 5 should be enough. Take your paper out of the water. See, it's all shiny and dripping wet. We don't want that because that would smear the ink everywhere when you go to print. You can also use paper towels for this if you need to. Use any towel. At home, dish towel, whatever. Okay, see the shine is gone. That's good. Now you want to do that part with clean hands, right? That's why you take the gloves off. We're always trying to keep things clean. Otherwise it gets crazy. Okay, so we find where the X is. Okay, put it down. Let's tape it down so it doesn't move. Take a look at it. Oh yeah, when you do the paper wet, the print comes out a lot darker. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah, looking good. Let's see, I want a little bit darker in here. See, now that's darker in that spot. So any spot you want to be darker, I want it to be darker up here. Just go a little harder in that spot. Okay, and just like before, if you want to add some more paint or ink, let's maybe go over the ring on the planet. I don't really like this blob here, so I'm just going to kind of smooth it out. Yeah, and I smoothed it out. Okay, so once you're happy with it, you can take off the tape. And let's compare the two, the wet and the dry. That one's a wet, and this one's a dry. So see how the wet one gets a little darker.